Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Stag Talk. And we've got as ever. Pre-season is now officially done and dusted after the Friday night defeat against Derby County. And on today's show, we'll look back at that game and we will assess the summer transfer window, the summer pre-season, all things Stag, and where it leaves us ahead of the start of the competitive season. And they said start of the League One season, but more at Sheffield United first, and then the big stuff on the 15th against Bonnie. As ever, my partner in crime, Georgia. Georgia, how are you today?
I'm good, yeah. As you say, pre-season done and dusted. It feels like it went on, but it also feels like it's just finished in a flash. Like I can't believe the season's right around the corner now.
Time goes too fast. I was just thinking about this when I was walking on dinner break that get another sort of few weeks and we'll be starting thinking about Christmas, and then it's the old chestnut of where's the year gone. But that's one for another programme rather than ourselves. And what's your kind of take on the pre-season then? Mixed bag in terms of results. So obviously results don't matter. It's all about the minutes in the legs and the transfers that have come in.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think no one's gone for results based on what we've seen. I think the importance, as you say, was the minutes in the tank, making sure every player is up to scratch in their own way. Nigel clearly had a plan leading into the final game against Derby. And yeah, it's and even with no real aim, they've looked good, and I think we will get onto it. But yeah, Michael Smith looking a good bit of business.
He does look very sharp against Derby. I like to I think it was against Retford where he's you could tell straight away that he's got an eye for a goal, not just in terms of obviously the amount of goals he gets, but I like the fact he kind of feels like he'll shoot on sight or whatever. He's not afraid to have a pot shot. He's not going to overplay it. The more shots you have, the more chance you've got to score, sort of thing. And there's a real purpose about his game, and it was a really good finish against Derby. You can say that for McGoldrick as well. A really good addition. Two quality players there, and obviously we're into pre-season with the aim in mind of getting strikers in to sort of give Stags that bit of sharpness that was perhaps lacking last season, and they've certainly done that on the face of it. McGoldrick, first glimpse for a lot of fans with it being the only home game on Friday for the pre-season, and he looked really good. I love his movement. What I love most about him was that he doesn't waste things. When he got the ball, even under pressure, he still used it well. He still made that transition from midfield to attack. And we've talked about on previous shows of giving the ball away too cheaply, and that's something he definitely wasn't guilty of. And yeah, it's promising. Obviously, it's only pre-season, but good signs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we spoke about last week about who's going to get the nod as the main kind of number 9, or if they're going to go for 2. Obviously, don't know just yet. But good to see kind of everybody putting their hand up, throwing their hat in the ring, and showing they can do a good job. Because we asked on Facebook who people thought would be Stag's top scorer. Bit of a mixed bag, although surprised I didn't see, not yet, that there might be some, but as time of recording, haven't seen anybody say Rhys Oates, who is the reigning top scorer for Stags. What do you think based on what you've seen pre-season? You'd be inclined to go with Smith, wouldn't you? But
I think it's whoever takes pens. If he's going to be on pens, then it's probably going to be the deal breaker. I think him and Gorgic are going to be probably fairly level, barring obviously injuries and whatnot. They're going to be fairly level on the 13, 14, 15 goals, you'd hope anyway. But obviously, if one's going to take pens over the other, that'll be the deal breaker. But coming back to the comment, I agree. It's not going to be Rhys Oates, and we kind of had a little chat off screen about whether he's going to be a regular, and I'm not sure that he will. I think we're looking at it's really interesting to see how we've mused for many shows about what formation Stag's going to go with and how they kind of integrate the new attacking options that they've got, and we've seen them the last half against Alfreton against Derby, having McGoldrick in the hole and Tyler Roberts and Smith up top. It's very adventurous. They're obviously sacrificing kind of the left wing back to get that extra attacking option, and they look really good against Derby in terms of creating chances and looking really dangerous. You've got 3 main players there. Rhys Oates isn't going to be one of them main 3, I don't think. Obviously, as we say, he's going to have a part to play. He's going to get the goals, but he's going to be more of an impact player this season, I think, coming off the bench. But who knows? Only Nigel knows. It'll be interesting to see how we set up against Sheffield United, because obviously he said he's not sure. Nigel said he's not sure whether it's a formation they can go with week in, week out in League One. I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm not so sure. I think you risk really getting exposed at the back if you kind of ditch that left back shot.
Yeah, well, we last week, asked who people wanted to see as like a nailed on starter, and someone went as far as actually submitting an 11 they wanted to see. And I can't remember off the top of my head exactly, but they managed to fit in McGoldrick, Smith, Oates, and Roberts all up front. And it was like, great attack, but are you leaving yourself, and there was it opened the debate, and some people were saying, that looks great up front, but you're kind of missing, people out wide. And I think that is an important part of Stag's gameplay, is the passes and the play that comes in from out wide. And I think Mansfield are a team of adapting quickly. And if it does have to come to different formations, that's something I'm sure that they can do with ease.
It would be doable to have Oates in with them three, because obviously he's more than adept. And so against Alfred, I think it was, he's more than adept at being on that left wing, cutting inside and getting forward and whatnot. So he could do that. But it's you've got to maintain that balance, and I think it's a big old gamble, because what's got Mansfield to where they are, or where they were last season, and the foundation to build on it, is the solid defence. It's the wing backs. It's that set formation, and to tinker with that does risk a lot. You saw it with showing my age here, but you look at when Asprilla came to Newcastle, they had a tinker to get their formation and get him into the team, and they kind of imploded after that point. And it's very dangerous to change winning combinations. I just think if you've not, it's like what you're so right with what you say about that versatility, and I think that's where a formation like that will work brilliantly, when it's in-game formations, and perhaps start formations like that against the Burton Albions at home and Orients and whatnot. Not you're not going to. I don't think you go with that formation going to Hillsborough or Leicester or Huddersfield or wherever, but it does give you the option of if you've got. You can switch it across to the left centre back. If it was Blake Tracy, for example, can move into left back, and then everyone slots over one. But we're going to know more as the season gets on, and only Nigel really knows. I think, as you've said before, it's a good job we're not the manager trying to pick the team, because it's hard work.
Oh, honestly, yeah. When you've got a squad that big and players who can play almost anywhere, it is a bit like all kudos to the people who work behind the scenes and make it all tick over, because honestly couldn't do it personally, too much of a headache.
Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of the pre-season overall, they've certainly achieved what they need to do, but I think we're all ready for it now, aren't we, to get the talking done and dusted, and get down to business, and Sunday we'll finally get to it.
Yeah, I think because we've touched on how pre-season it's just a fitness test, but I think fans are eager to see whether the positive results will carry forward, or if lessons were learned from the defeats or whatever, and see how they perform when it really matters. And it leads me on to, obviously, League One's not starting just yet. It is Blades first in the Cup. How do you think they're kind of gonna approach that? Because obviously last season it was a huge upset over Sheffield with that upset in the cup, the FA Cup. But first round Carabao Cup is a whole different kettle of fish. Like, are they gonna just enjoy the day, or do you think it's going to be full strength team and go?
Yeah. I think Nigel will give another shot with that. It's a good game to have in many ways, because, forgive me for being cynical, perhaps, but to me it's just a glorified pre-season friendly. And Carabao Cup has lost prestige many seasons ago, and even more so when it's a game before the league season even starts. But it's still a competitive game, and it's still one that Mansfield want to win. And Sheffield United are sold out. It's going to be a decent crowd, a decent atmosphere, and I think it's a really good chance to give this different formation a tweak. Again, obviously it's only been a game and a half so far, and you're not going to get sort of 70-20. I guess you're pretty much going to be going more 90 minutes and regular subs and that now. That'd be different, but they're going to go and try and win it. They'll give it the best. They'll see what this formation's like and see if it works under more competitive circumstances, and then whether it gives Nigel a headache going into Donny or not, or whether it clears his mind as to yeah, it doesn't work, or yeah, 100% it does work. We'll see. But I'm really keen to see what the lineup is against Donny, because he can shape the whole season here with different formation, can't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll be, as you say, it will be a good game, Sheffield United, and I don't imagine it's going to be anything similar to what we saw in the FA Cup. Things change massively, and I mean, it was such a great run. I think people will talk about that FA Cup run for years and years to come. But as we've just said, it's a different beast altogether. Entry round Carabao Cup versus really pushing on in the FA Cup. So. But yeah, it will be good to see if that's the start of, Clough's plans, or if it's something totally different. As you say, Donny is the real start and the real first look into this season. So it'll be good to see if it's just the odd tweak between Blades and Rovers, or if it's something totally different. Because you've seen in pre-season, there's 2 whole 11s to put out that are strong looking. It's not like an A team and a B team. The squad is that big and that talented that you can split it into 2 whole different good strength 11s.
Yeah, there's plenty of options. Like we're saying, perhaps there's one more coming in. Nigel teased it again after Derby that he thinks they're getting close to a midfield, but then he keeps saying he thinks they're getting close, and we don't seem to be any getting closer. At some point, we probably will. But he was hoping to have a deal wrapped up before the weekend, and now it's Tuesday as we're recording this, and there's no sign of the midfielder coming in yet. One more, and then job done if it can happen before the window shuts.
Yeah, he's. I'm just checking now, because there was obviously, Nigel had said a deal had gone through, fallen through, and then that was apparently, Liam Thompson from Derby. And there was the report of, it's absolutely not happening. But I've seen, I mean, you have to take a lot with a pinch of salt these days. But I've seen that now people are saying it's close to being done. So it's like, well, is it him? Is it not him? Like, who knows?
I think no names obviously mentioned. He doesn't name names, obviously, Nigel afterwards. But the general vibe I got is that it is him, and that they're having another bash at getting it done. I mean, we obviously don't know what the negotiations are behind closed doors. If it's a case of a little tweak in the wages or a little terms or whatever, then something that's not terminal, then they can resurrect it. And I think that's who it's going to be. So we'll probably have it break in a couple of days.
Well, that's good if it is, because obviously Clough had said, it's essentially a no-go. We're looking at somebody else. So if this is the same target and they've managed to rectify whatever it was that had collapsed and the deal's back on, it's just another signing that shows Stags are doing really good business this summer. They've signed 2 senior good players who had a lot of people after them, and now another potential deal where it looked like it was off the table, but they've pulled it back. Like, the pulling power of Mansfield Town is not to be sniffed at this summer.
No, it isn't. And we say we're Gorgic, and the amount of offers he had, and he wanted to come to Mansfield, only good signs. And we had a little chat about things in the little assembled media huddle after the match, and a lot about how things are improving, and slowly but surely. And that's probably the aim of the season. That as much as we want the playoffs, as much as everyone wants to be in the Championship and do a link, and it is about progress on and off the pitch. And if Stags can keep doing that, keep attracting players like this, from the Championship, then obviously when the next window comes, or the next summer window, then it becomes a bit easier perhaps to attract a few more like that, and slowly but surely you start to build to where you need to be. The time's going to tell, and obviously we're getting ahead of ourselves, and they could go into the first 3 or 4 games of the season, lose every single one, and then everything changes, or they can win the first 5 and then everyone's going crazy and expectations skyrocket. It's only time's going to tell, but yeah, it's going to be really good just to get underway. And sick of doing the talking. I just want to see the business, want to see the game, see the points up for grab, and let's finally get the football back.
Yeah, it's all about the momentum, as you say. I think it started to feel good when John Russell and Tyler Roberts came back and committed and stuff, and that was a real good sign. And it's obviously only gone up from there. And I'm just going to circle quickly back to the top scorer question. We put the questions out to you guys, our readers. A few of you said Michael Smith, good shout. Someone said Tyler Roberts, as long as he stays fit, and backing him to get assists as well as goals. A few from Goldrick, and then someone said they want 15 goals from each of the strikers, please. And why not?
Did anyone say Kyle Moyle though? That's the one.
Someone said Bowery, but that was about it. And then Chris Emerson has said, depends on who gets the minutes. Yep. Hoping Smith and Sweens get the nod and make a great start. Evans and co have got to provide the service, though. Top 6, here we come.
I just do not know. I want to sit here now and say, yeah, this is where they're gonna come. And then every time I walk into town, you just think, yeah, can they do it? Can they not do it? It's so hard to tell this season. There's so many good teams in the league, and there's so many teams that you can't rule out. I mean, I think you must be looking at 10 teams. There's got to be 10 teams in that league that have a genuine sort of chance and aspirations of making that top 6. I think it's fair to say we'll know more after the Donny game, and well, after a few games we'll know a bit more. It's kind of hard to tell right now, I think.
Yeah, it's
sitting on the fence a bit, but
do you know what though? I think it's the safest place to be at the moment. Like, it's a tough old league, big season ahead, and I think the confidence is there, but you're just too scared to put anything too far forward, because anything could happen, especially in these early stages. So I'm with you. I think I'm not predicting anything below 10th. The supercomputers, I don't think they've got it right this time, but above
6
that,
to 10.
Yeah, I think so. But where? Who knows?
Well, we'll know more as we go along through the season, and we'll be there every step of the way, and hope you guys will be joining as well. So it's time to wrap up for another week, and we really appreciate, as always, the time that you spend watching us. And please feel free to get engaged with us in the comments and join the debate. And if you'd be so kind as to like, subscribe, comment, all the usual stuff, you know the score. That'd do us proud. But thank you very much, Georgia. Thanks to you, and thanks for everyone for watching. We'll see you all next week.